Alright folks, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel, and let me tell you, there's no shortage of Rangers news today. Buckle up, because this video is packed from start to finish. We've got updates on Max Aaron's Harry Darling serial, Dessers, and yes, even a bit on Nico Raskin. So let's not waste any more time and dive straight into it. First off, let's talk about the headline story that's been making waves all over Glasgow and beyond. It's the news that's got every Rangers fan talking. The club is on the brink of securing Max Aarons from Bournemouth. Yes, you heard that. Right, Max Aarons, the right back who many thought would carve out a long career in the English Premier League, could soon be pulling on the famous blue jersey at Ibrox. This is no rumor, no clickbait. The story has been confirmed by multiple sources close to the club, including some official partners. That's when you know there's something real going on. So who is Max Aarons for those of you who maybe haven't followed his career that closely? Let me fill you in. Full name: Maximilian James Aarons. Quite the regal-sounding name, right? Born and raised in Hammersmith, London. Standing at just under 6 feet tall, Aarons is 25 years old and very much entering the prime years of his footballing career. Dual nationality eligible for both England and Jamaica, though he's mostly been involved with England at youth level. Now here's where things get interesting. Max has just finished a loan spell with Valencia in Spain, but don't get it twisted. This was not a fairy tale stint. Valencia are a club going through real financial turmoil right now. They've been a shadow of the team they once were. The days of title challenges and European nights at the Mestalla are long gone. In fact, Aarons barely got any game time there. Just for appearances in La Liga, a single outing in the Copa del Rey, and that's pretty much it. Not exactly the dream move, right? But look, it's not all doom and gloom. His lack of minutes in Spain wasn't necessarily about his ability. It was more about the chaos at Valencia as a whole. The club is struggling to pay wages and not in a position to be taking up any options to buy. Aarons will officially return to Bournemouth when his loan expires on the 30th of June, but here's the key bit. Bournemouth are open to loaning him out again for another season. Even better, they're happy to include an option to buy in the deal. That's where Rangers come in. Let's be honest, Bournemouth are having a bit of a clear out this summer. A number of players are on the move, and Aarons is one of them. From what's being said, Rangers could bring him in on loan initially, with a view to making the move permanent if things go well. And honestly, this deal makes sense for all parties. Bournemouth gets some of his wages off the books, Aarons gets the chance to reignite his career, and Rangers get a quality right back with Premier League experience. Speaking of his career, let's not forget where this lad made his name. Max Aarons came through the youth system at Norwich City. That's right, another one from Norwich. There seems to be this unexplainable connection between Rangers and Norwich players lately, doesn't there? First Todd Cantwell, then Kieran Dowell, and now potentially Aarons. It's almost like we've opened up a direct pipeline from Carrow Road to Ibrox. Anyway, during his time with Norwich, Aarons made over 100 appearances, chipping in with 6 goals and 14 assists. That's 20 goal contributions from a right back in just over 100 games. Pretty solid return for someone in that position. He was highly rated back then, even linked with clubs like Manchester United and Arsenal at one point. There was talk of £20 million bids flying about for him not too long ago. Clearly things didn't pan out that way, and now he's looking for a fresh start. When he left Norwich, Bournemouth paid around £7 million for his services. Since then, he's made 27 appearances for the Cherries and even had that brief loan spell in Spain that we mentioned earlier. But let's talk about what this move could mean for Rangers, and more specifically what it could mean for James Tavernier. Now look, let me say this first, Tavernier has been an incredible servant for Rangers. His goal-scoring record from right back is phenomenal. His leadership has been vital at times. But let's not kid ourselves here. Defensively, over the past couple of seasons, it's been a different story. Positionally, he's been caught out time and time again. His legs just aren't what they used to be. The Bilbao game springs to mind. That back post defending was absolutely brutal to watch. So let's be real about this. Max Aarons isn't coming to Glasgow to sit on the bench. Russell Martin's style of play requires fullbacks who are quick, mobile, aggressive, both going forward and defensively sound. Fullbacks who can invert when needed, push high when required, and basically play with high intensity for 90 minutes plus. Aarons ticks those boxes. If this deal goes through, and all signs point to it happening soon, then we could well be looking at the end of Tavernier as a guaranteed starter. Now, before anybody jumps to conclusions, I'm not saying Tav will be out the door. There's always the possibility he stays, takes on more of a squad role, maybe even remains club captain, but with someone else taking the on-field armband. Personally, I'd be putting that responsibility on Nico Raskin. If he stays, but we'll come onto that later. Back to Aaron's, though this signing feels different. It feels like a real statement of intent. Bringing in a player with his experience at his age at a time, when he'll be hungry to prove himself, this could be a fantastic bit of business. Now I know some people will moan about it being another loan, and trust me, I get it. Nobody wants to become a club reliant on short-term fixes, but let's face facts. Sometimes a loan to buy is the best way to secure the right player, when your immediate transfer funds are limited. And let's not forget this could free up more money for strengthening other areas of the squad. While we're on the subject of strengthening, let's move on to the next bit of news. Kavama Poku. Yes, the attacking winger who's been catching eyes all across Europe. Rangers seem to have won the race for his signature, beating out around 25 other clubs from across the continent and the English Championship. Even Birmingham City were pushing hard for him, but it looks like he's chosen Glasgow, and I can see why. Playing in front of over 50,000 fans at Ibrox, competing in Europe, fighting for trophies. It's an exciting prospect for any young player. Poku's numbers last season were outstanding, 20 goal contributions in 27 league games. That's 12 goals and 8 assists for those keeping count. To more assists in the FA Cup as well. Yes, it was in League One, but talent like that translates. He's direct, he's fast, he's unpredictable. The kind of winger that gets fans off their seats. The kind of player we've been crying out for. Honestly, this could be one of the most exciting signings of the summer. Right before I get too carried away with that, let's quickly touch on Harry Darling. This one's a bit of a sore point for a lot of fans. There was real hope we'd get him in. Ball-playing centre-half, good on the ball, reads the game well, previously worked under Russell Martin. At both MK Dons and Swansea, everything seemed to line up perfectly. But football never works out that easily, does it, despite strong interest from Rangers? It looks like Darling is heading to Norwich City. Yep, back to Norwich again. He's already said his goodbyes to Swansea, thanking the fans and the club for his time there. Reports suggest that he's chosen Norwich over Rangers, and let's be honest, it's probably down to money. The English Championship clubs have more cash to throw around these days thanks to their ridiculous TV deals. That's just the reality of it. Now, maybe Darling grew up as a Norwich fan. Maybe there's some personal reason he wants to go there. But from the outside looking in, it smells like a financial decision. And look, that's fine. If a player's priority is his bank balance, let him go. Do we really want players at Rangers who aren't fully committed? Probably not. And if we're being brutally honest, if a player chooses Norwich over Rangers, then maybe they were never the right fit for us in the first place. Let's move on. Focus on players who want to be here, who want to fight for silverware, who want to play under the lights at Ibrox. The focus now shifts to other targets. One name that's still doing the rounds is Connor Cody. I'm not going to go into huge detail on him here because we've talked about him before on the channel, but let's just say, experienced leader, organizer, could be exactly what we need at the back. And speaking of players on the move, Cyril Dessers. Yes, folks, it looks like Dessers is heading for the exit door. He's agreed personal terms with AEK Athens, reportedly on a salary of around £1.5 million per year. The fee between the clubs is said to be around £4.5 million, maybe rising to 5 depending on add-ins and performance clauses. Now, I know there's been debate online about the fee. Some people saying it's too low, others saying it's fair, but let's be real here. Dessers is turning 31 next season, and this is probably the highest fee we're going to get for him. He doesn't really fit into Russell Martin's system. Martin wants a high-pressing, aggressive, mobile striker. Dessers, bless him, just isn't that type of player. He's more suited to a slower tempo, more possession-based style. So honestly, this move makes sense for all parties, and look for what it's worth. I hope Dessers goes to Greece, bangs in a few goals, and triggers some of those add-ins. That would help top up the Rangers transfer kitty nicely. Alright folks, I'll pause here for now before diving into the Nico Raskin situation and the rest of the updates. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to get all the exclusive news about Rangers FC. Don't overlook any details about your beloved team. It's crucial for Rangers FC fans. Whispers swirling around the football world this week have brought an unexpected name into the orbit of Scottish football, none other than the Brazilian legend himself, Ronaldinho Gaucho. In a surprising and somewhat surreal turn, the former Ballon d'Or winner has publicly praised Rangers FC, and the ripple effect online has been nothing short of explosive. During a recent appearance on a Brazilian podcast, Ronaldinho casually name-dropped Rangers, calling them a historic club. with incredible fans. While he stopped short of suggesting any formal involvement, that single line was more than enough to send your supporters into overdrive on social media. Speculation has run rampant, with everything from coaching rumors to ambassadorial roles being floated by enthusiastic fans and cheeky pundits alike. The idea of Ronaldinho walking through the gates of Ibrox may sound fanciful, even downright daft to some, but this is football and stranger things have happened. Some point out that the Brazilian maestro has shown interest in promoting football globally in recent years, often appearing at exhibition matches and linking up with clubs in ambassadorial capacities. Could a Rangers collaboration be next on his list? Online forums and fan pages lit up within minutes of the clip surfacing. Supporters were quick to point out the flair and passion of the Rangers faithful, joking that it was only a matter of time before Ronaldinho would be spotted in the stands at a packed Old Firm derby. Others, with tongues firmly in cheek, have already started designing mock kits with our 10 on the back, of course. There's been no official word from Ibrox, and sources close to the club remain tight-lipped, if not outright bemused. Still, the very mention of a global icon like Ronaldinho tipping his hat to the light blues has stirred the pot and brought a buzz to Scottish football circles. Whether this remains a fleeting online frenzy or grows into something more tangible, one thing is certain: the Gers have caught the eye of one of the game's most flamboyant legends. And in football, you never say never. Greetings, fans! Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, as it's greatly appreciated. Bye Rangers FC, and don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments section below. Until the next video, stay tuned.